Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this audio presentation, I am revising once again the chapter The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, written by William Saroyan. I will explain some of the important characters from this particular story. The first important character is obviously the narrator, that is Aram. Aram is the narrator of the short story. We are been acquainted with all the other characters and we became a participant in this story because we have seen the entire story from the point of view of Aram. He is actually the narrator, he is narrating the story. He is a 9-year-old Armenian boy and a member of the Garaglinian family who live in the San Joaquin Valley in California. The Garaglinians are poor and cannot afford things like horses. We get to know that it was very challenging for them to make both ends meet, and so it is not possible for them to purchase or afford horses, and they are too honest to steal, which leads to Aram's confusion as to why Morad has the white horse in the first place. That was the reason of his suspicion when he saw his brother, his 13-year-old brother, knocking on his window early in the morning and standing near his window with a beautiful white horse. He has dreamed of riding a horse his entire life, and this desire leads him to justify Morad's actions and keep riding a horse that is not his own. He justified Morad's action by saying that the main purpose of stealing the horse is obviously for ride, because ultimately he defended his brother that his brother had no intention at all, neither he had an intention also to steal and also to sell the horse and also to earn money. That was not their real intention. So in order to have a ride or enjoy a ride on a horse, he justified the actions of his brother, who actually had stolen the horse from John Byro's farm. Now the next important character is Morad. Very important character, dear students. Morad is Aram's 13-year-old cousin brother. Aram and Morad, they are both cousin brothers, and Aram and Morad are the two principal characters in this particular story. His family believes that he is crazy and that he has inherited the crazy streak from his uncle Kobrov. Just like Uncle Kobrov was a crazy member of the tribe, it is said by the other tribal people or tribal men that Morad had also inherited the same craziness from Uncle Kobrov, but Uncle Kobrov was not the father of Morad, but still he had the same crazy characteristic trait as was found in case of Uncle Kobrov. Morad borrows the horse from John Byro by himself and keeps it hidden in a barn. Actually, Morad had stolen the horse from John Byro's barn and kept it for almost a month, but he eventually allows Aram to ride it too, because he knows Aram longs to ride a horse someday. Because the main reason why Morad came to the house of Aram, because at the back of his mind Morad knew it very well that Aram loved to ride a horse. Now the next important character, dear students, is that of Uncle Kobrov. Very important character. Kobrov is Aram and Morad's crazy uncle. He is believed to be the father of Morad's spirit, but he is actually not the father of Morad. The father of Morad is known as Zorab. He is a tall man who is always angry. Every time Uncle Kobrov used to be angry, he was a person who had a short temper, and no one can argue with him at all. He is the one who feels like he is always correct. Kobrov has a reputation for telling others to stop talking and ordering them to pay no attention. He said this even when his own house was burning. And when his son came to inform him about this, he scolded his son as well as he scolded the barber and told the barber that pay no attention to it. Actually, his famous dialogue is, dear students, it's no harm, pay no attention to it. When he found that his own house was burning, he was very casual and carefree. and he was very much impatient too at the same time, we can say. Now, next important character is definitely John Byro. John Byro is an Assyrian farmer and a friend of the Garaglinian family. Actually, John Byro belonged to another tribe that is a part of the Armenian tribe, just like Garaglinian tribe is a part of the Armenian tribe. Similarly, Assyrian tribe is also a part of the Armenian tribe. Since his tribal people were less in number, so he started speaking and interacting with the Garaglinian tribe members so that he can't be lonely at the end of the day. And he was a farmer by profession. John Byro is the owner of the white horse that was actually stolen by Murad. So I repeat, Byro is the owner of the white horse. When he comes to their house and tells Aram's mother that his horse had been stolen, Byro relied on the horse for transportation because he was a businessman. So actually the horse was required to drive the carriage or the wagon. So he needed the horse. Without it, he had to walk 10 miles with a sole leg to get to Aram's house. And it was very, very difficult for him without the horse to move from one place to another with a sole leg. In the end, he chooses to believe his heart over his eyes and not accuse Aram and Murad of stealing. Though he notices their horse striking resemblance. Actually, the meaning of resemblance is similarity, dear students, to a stolen one. Despite he found a lot of similarity with his own stolen horse and the horse that he found with Murad and Aram, but he never argued, considering the fact that the family was famous for honesty and integrity, and thought that this is the twin of his own horse, of his own stolen horse. His faith in the boys prompts them to return the horse to him. Finally, the boys returned the horse to him because he showed a lot of faith and trust in them. So Murad and Aram finally decided to return it back to him at the earliest. Now, dear students, I am just moving on explaining the summary a bit to you. So see, I have given the heading Summary of the Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. Very important. As you know, this is the story of two Armenian boys, Aram and Murad, and the entire story is told from the point of view of Aram. And their family used to be in extreme poverty. But important thing is that they valued honesty, integrity and truthfulness more than anything else. And no one can ever think of doing anything wrong. They never lied, or can be said they never even had stolen anything. The story talks about an incident that revolves around two cousins, Aram, who is 9 years old, and Murad, who is 13. And the important thing is that the world for Aram at that time seemed to be a delightful and extremely joyous. He was a 9-year-old kid, Aram, the narrator of the story at that time, and the world seemed to him to be a very delightful one. And at that time, people believed in every imaginable kind of magnificence. This line is written in your text also. Murad was considered to be a natural descendant of Uncle Kobrov, and Murad was considered to be crazy one. And at the very beginning of the story, we find that Murad came early in the morning to awoke Aram from his sleep. And when Aram opened the door, he found that Murad was standing near his house with a beautiful white horse. And they went on riding the horse. And thus they kept the horse for 2 weeks, enjoying its ride in cool air and singing to their heart's content. Meanwhile, Aram came to know that the horse was actually that of John Byro. They planned not to return it to him so soon, although it pricked their conscience to steal. And I told you they became very guilty. And finally, Murad and Aram both decided, after both of them one day met with John Byro, it seems that John Byro trusted them despite they had stolen their horse. So they were pricked by their guilt conscience, and Murad and Aram finally decided to give the horse to John Byro. One fine day they came across John the farmer. Such was the boy's family, famous for their honesty, that the thought of his horse being stolen by the boys never crossed John's mind. He was just amazed at the similarity or resemblance of the horse and said, I would swear it is my horse if I did not know your parents. That means so much John Byro trusted their parents that according to him, he can't think of that this horse actually belonged to him. He thought that this is a twin of his own horse that was stolen. This moving experience led the boys towards John's vineyard the next morning because they were pricked by their guilt conscience and they returned it. Later that evening, John seemed to be very pleased and shared the news of the return of his horse with Aram's mother. Because at the end of the story, we find that John Byro returned once again, and John Byro found that John Byro was very happy, and because John Byro found his horse once again accidentally, he got his horse back, and he was very happy when he was having a conversation with Aram's mother. But previously he was very sad when he lost the horse. So finally, let me end this summary. Later that evening, John seemed to be very pleased and shared the news of the return of his horse with Aram's mother. The story ultimately teaches us the importance and the necessity of honesty even in the face of greed. Importance and necessity of honesty was taught even in the face of greed. This is a very, very important moral lesson that we have learned from this particular story. So dear students, I hope you will listen to this audio presentation and you will sharpen up your concept regarding this story. It's a very easy story, interesting one, and it's a very important story, and it is there in your midterm syllabus also. So I hope, dear students, that you will listen to this audio presentation. Thank you, students.